Hi, and welcome to lesson 1. I am so glad you're here. Today's topic is, what is your potential? I have to tell you, everything that we're about to uncover is all about helping you reach your potential. Now, I'll give you a lot of examples from me because you'll learn from what I've done wrong and where I've struggled. So you'll learn from me. At the end of this video as well, I'm going to go over the homework assignment for you to work on this week. So, what is your potential? Do you ever think about that? I think because you signed up for this course, you've probably thought about it often. You know deep down inside that you are meant for more. You're meant for a better life. You're meant to do more. You're meant to help more people. You're meant to have more things. You're meant to be a greater, better, more happier, more balanced, more everything. You're meant for more. You're meant to be a better version of yourself. And we are either on the journey of accomplishing this or we're not, and that's a journey too. And so you're here today because you're on the journey of becoming a better version of yourself. And I will tell you, a couple years ago I was really lost and I was really sad, and it wasn't until I woke up and I realized that helping you reach your potential is part of my purpose and it's part of my passion. It's one of my greatest passions in life, is helping you uncover the true you. So we're going to have a lot of fun together over the next 52 weeks. But today is the basic foundation of what we're going to learn over the next year. So I want you to think about you. I want you to think about your dreams, your passions, what drives you crazy, what excites you, what gives you a lot of joy in your life. And I want you to believe in yourself as well. You need to believe in yourself to make it through this program. You need to believe that you are meant for more, and you need to make sure that you don't let other people's opinions affect how you see yourself. So we're going to get into some topics, some homework, all of those things, but I just want to dig a little deeper about what it is that makes up your potential. So, if you want to be, let's say you want to be a health, like a bodybuilder, and reaching that goal is like where you see your potential going. So the goal is not for you to put all of your energy and your focus into meeting that one area of your life, but to create balance and success in all areas of your life. So we're going to get to that in a moment. But I also want you to think of why. Like, what is it? What is your why? What is your deep down desire for why you're doing this work? You're going to spend the next year working on uncovering your goals and your dreams and your desires, but why are you doing it? And that's part of your potential as well. Why do you want this? Why do you want more? Why do you want better? Why are you willing to stop at nothing to make sure that this happens? What is your goal? What is it that you want to put all your attention to? I'll share a little bit about me. So I've been doing self-development work for 15 years, since I was 17 years old. And I never had a why. I mean, not that I knew of. It was always there, but I never was able to admit it. And so doing all this work, and I got to this place where I said, I really want to figure out what my why is. I mean, I want a nice car. I want a nice house. I want to be happily married. I want to do it for my family. I want to do it for the world. I want to do it so that I'll be happier and find more balance. Like, those are all good and those were good reasons, but I never had that like why that brought me tears. So do you have a why that brings you tears? Why do you do what you do? And it's part of your potential. So I'm 32 now, and about a year ago, I was at a conference, and they were talking about your why. And if you know anything about me, I don't have any children of my own. But in that moment, in that conference, my why for everything turned into because I want to have a baby. Oh my gosh, it brought me to tears. I wanted a baby. And my husband at the time, we've been together for 5 years. He had a vasectomy, so just going home and saying, honey, I want to have a baby, that's not like the easiest thing to do. And so yeah, our journey started rolling, and that was September. By January, my husband had a vasectomy reversal. So I want to have a baby. It's now June of 2017, so it's been about 6 months, still no baby yet, but everything I do now is based on that. Is I want to have a baby, I want to be a good mom, I want to start a family, I want to complete our family with my husband. I have 2 stepchildren. They're 17 and 14, boy and girl, and they're great. They're wonderful kids, but I feel like I'm missing something. I will tell people, I've told people that I don't feel like I'm missing something, but I do feel like I'm missing something. So my new why behind everything I do is being a wonderful mom and having a baby. And first I have to get pregnant. And it just brings me back to like, you'll see how everything that we talk about is going to tie in together. And especially in this module, we're going to show you how you have to have balance in all areas of your life. And whatever area of your life is the lowest and like suffering the most, that's how great your whole life is, because you're only as strong as your weakest link. So what is your potential? I feel like my potential is being a mom, and a lot of things have to change if I'm going to have a baby and I'm going to be a really great mom. And being a great mom looks like being home. If you know me, I'm the sole provider for my family, and I work as a chiropractor. And so being home is not an option right now. My husband still has 2 years of school, but we knew that waiting 2 years to try and start a family might not have been an option because of my age and how long it's been since my husband's had a vasectomy. Your chances go down. So that brought me to me and finding my potential. So a couple years ago, I was in a really dark place and a very uninspired life. Never could find any fleeting love. I only found fleeting levels of happiness, no true happiness. And I didn't find true happiness until I decided that I was going to make it my new mission in life to build an amazing empire. And this is just the beginning, an amazing empire that I could do what I love doing. And what I'm doing now is one of those things. What I love doing is teaching and sharing and living by example and being inspiring and motivating and being real and being me and waking up something inside of you that maybe you can resonate with. And so those are my goals and my deepest desires. So I want you to do some journaling and figure out what your goals are, what your deepest desires are. But you want to start with your why. So what is your potential and why? So my potential is having this amazing empire where I can only go to the office if I have to or need to or want to. No, I said that wrong. I only go to the office when I want to, and I only do work when I feel like it, because I know that being a mom is going to be very rewarding. So, how do I do it all? Because I want it all. And that's part of reaching my potential is I want to have it all, I want to be it all, and I want to do it all. And I don't want the world to tell me that I can't. And I think that's why you're joining me today, is because you can resonate with that. You want it all too. You know that reaching your potential means so much. It means that doors will open for you and some doors will close, and that's a really good thing. But what is your potential and why? And when you think about that, it should bring you to tears like it did that day when I knew for the very first time that my why for everything I do was to have a baby. And I'm holding back tears right now because I'm trying to put my professional hat on. But you'll see I'm going to be really raw and authentic with you. And you'll see, like, by my example that I share with you and how I lead these exercises, I hope, and it's my goal, that what I teach you is real for you too. Again, I don't want to share any fluff or things that really don't matter. So I want to get into the homework assignment for you. And this has to do with, again, the foundation of what your potential is. But before you can think about where you're going, I want you to think about where you are now and being really honest with yourself about where you are now in this journey that you're on. And I want to shed light on some really important things that you need to be reminded of. Maybe this is a reminder, maybe it's news for you, I don't know. But you're going to have the exercises printed out. Those are beneath this video here. You can click on them, download them, you can fill it out on your computer. But what I would recommend is that you actually print them and you take a pen and you write down everything that you think about. Because when you write things down, when you write down your goals or where you are, there's a different neural synapse that is created when your elbow and your wrist move, and that almost makes those impulses concrete in your brain. When you just type things and your fingers are moving, that connection of your elbow moving and your wrist moving when you write, it's not there. And so it doesn't make the same neural impulses in your brain as it would if you were actually journaling and writing. So you'll learn a few things from me because I am a doctor and have my medical background, and my background in health and fitness is you'll learn some things like this that are really important tips that you can take with you. So let's get to the exercise, shall we? And I'm going to go through this exercise with you, and I'm going to show you how I completed this exercise. So be really raw and be really honest with yourself. So in this exercise, if you want, you can pause the video now, go print it out, and then get a clipboard or a journal or something and be ready, and just press play when you're ready to begin. Okay? So, ready to fill out the paperwork? Okay, so in front of you, you have a pie chart in front of you. And on that, you'll see that there are equal pieces of the pie for 7 different topics. And those topics are health, your emotions, your finances, your purpose, your work, your fun, and your spirituality. And one of them is not more important than the other. Some of them you may think that they're more important than the other, but they're really not, and I'll explain why. Because all of those areas of your life impact one another, and you have to have balance. And again, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So I'm going to go through how I completed this exercise with you to help you answer the questions with true honesty. So I gave myself a score of 8 for health. Health is easy for me. I know that I have room for improvement. maybe I have some things wrong with me since I haven't gotten pregnant yet, but I'm not putting that out there. Not doing any tests yet, but there's some unknowns, but I think for the most part, health is pretty high up there, and I give myself a really good score. I've started working out 3 or 4 times a week. I'm doing yoga. I'm walking my dogs. I walk both of my 80-pound dogs at the same time, and we go at least 2 miles. So I'm getting fit. I have some aches and pains, and I'll cover that because those play into another area of my life. So an 8 for health. For my emotions, I gave myself a score of 9, and this is why. I've always been a pretty happy person, like positive, outgoing, like I don't let things get me down. There are some things, that, surely there's room for improvement in my poor husband. He sees me when I'm at my worst, but we all have bad days, and you have to give yourself some room. But for the most part, I would say my emotions are 9. And I'll tell you a funny story. And this is how I know that I was able to give myself a score of 9 for my emotions. So your emotions are like your mental attitude, like how you feel about things, like the like your mental attitude, basically. And so the other day, I was just like I am now. I was trying to record a video for my website. And the video was only going to be like 2 minutes long, and I kept getting tripped up on my words. Like I would do take after take after take, and I had probably tried it about 9 or 10 times. I locked myself up in the bedroom, and I was doing this, and I was like, gosh, I was so frustrated because it just, like, every time I would do the same, I would stutter or something, and so I had to keep redoing the video, and finally, after about 30 minutes, I started recording this video, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. I know this is it. And I was like, oh, and I was on fire, and everything that came out felt really natural and like exciting. And I was like, yes, I'm doing good. This is the video that I'm supposed to be doing. And then all of a sudden, as I'm about to finish, my husband walks in the door, and like the whole thing was ruined. And I was like, I looked at him and I was like, no! And the video was over, and I was like, and like I like freaked out, but not really. And then I just started laughing. I just started laughing because I could have got mad, I could have got frustrated, I could have like let it totally ruin my day, but it was just funny. It was and my husband even said, oh my gosh, I would have been so mad if that happened to me. And that brings me to the fact that yeah, you can get mad if you want, but what good does it do? And I feel like I have learned to control that. I don't know if it's only been since I've been doing personal growth and development, or if this just comes really natural to me, if I was born with this, but like not very many things get me down. And then we'll move on to the next area, and that's finances. When I got to finances, it was really easy for me to give myself a score of 4. It's sad, but I will say my finances are not very good. My husband and I finished chiropractic school 10 years ago, and I'm still massive amounts in debt with my student loans. And my husband's borrowing more loans for his education. We have 2 car payments. We have a house. I'm the sole breadwinner for our family because he's in school. So it just doesn't give us a lot of room. I've also made a lot of sacrifices at my office where I could charge a lot of money for the work that I do, but I don't because I want to help more people. And I feel like money, I could charge $10 to see 100 people, or I can charge $100 and see 10 people. So I'd rather see more people for less money. So I've made some sacrifices there that have also kept us from having a better financial picture. But that brings me to my purpose. And I gave myself a score of 8.5 on my purpose because I've woken up. I have realized that I'm onto something, that my purpose is doing this. My purpose is living by example and sharing my stories and helping people do what I'm doing and find balance in all areas of their life. Something in my eye, excuse me. So that's my purpose, and I'm onto something, and I feel it, and I think about my purpose every single day, and it makes me have so much joy in my heart to wake up and know that I'm going to accomplish something towards my purpose today. And I will tell you, if you asked me this question 2 years ago, I probably would have scored myself a 4 or something, because my purpose was really low. I was totally uninspired. I was actually living someone else's dream that they just convinced me that it was my dream. And I said, no more. I'm not doing this. And you'll learn more about that later, but just for the purpose of this, no pun intended, right? Is it feels really good to be onto something. So what is your purpose, and what is your, and that's, and where you are now, and so to know, and to know how all these also work together, like we've already talked about health and emotions and finances and purpose. And you can see that some areas of your life are going to have a higher score than others, but they all relate to each other. And that brings me to the next sliver, is the work and job category. So I was stuck here. I could not give myself an honest answer. So I moved on to the next category of fun. For fun, I put 7. You know, I work a lot, so I'm sure there's room for improvement, but we do try to take a vacation every 4 months. We try to do fun things on the weekend. We have a date night every Friday. Like I know that I'm making time for some fun, but some of the work that I'm doing is really fun, so that helps too. And then I gave myself a 7 for spirituality, and those are real personal reasons, but I know I want to clear my head a little bit more, and I want to get more connected to the source and God. And I know that there's a lot of work, because there's a lot of things I don't know when it comes to spirituality. And so that's part of my journey, is like uncovering that and becoming more spiritual. And that looks different for everybody. It can be Catholicism or Christianity or Buddhism or whatever it is, and there's no judgment. But we all have, even if you're atheist, you still have a spirit, you still have a soul inside of you that needs to be nourished, and and to connect with the bigger picture. And that's how I see it. Is I'm a 7 now, but I do want to make time, because it's important that we make time for all of these areas. And that brings me back to this area here that I could not answer, this work and job category. For a second, I almost put a 7. And I said, no, if I put a 7, I'm not being honest with myself. Then I thought, okay, maybe I'll give myself a 6. And I thought, a lot of other people would probably see my job and my work, and they probably want to give me a 9 or a 10. Or my husband might think I should score myself a 6. Or like, I was thinking of my work and my job, and as a chiropractor, and what I do all day long to make money for my family and to pay bills and fund the things that we do in our lifestyle, is I was thinking of how other people see me. I was thinking of, well, what should I put? What, based on other people's opinion, like how great is my job? Like based on what other people think, or what would other people think if they were in my shoes? And I said, no, like I'm not answering that question based on other people. Like I'm gonna really be honest with myself, and I'm gonna really give myself a true, honest opinion of how I rate myself in my job. And that's when I knew that giving myself a score of 4 was the right thing to do. So as soon as I wrote down a 4, and then it clicked, and I remembered you're only as strong as your weakest link, I saw how I gave myself a 4 in my finances. So it was really clear was my finances were not good. match where I have the most amount of uncertainty, and that's in my work and my job, is also a 4. And I'm not saying this to complain. I'm saying this because I'm analyzing where I am today so that tomorrow is better, and then the next day and the next day. Just like in school, in elementary, all the way through your senior year, you get report cards so that your parents know how well you're doing. Well, this is a report card to know how balanced your life is and how good you're doing in all areas of your life, because they're all important. And I will tell you, when you focus all of your energy on one area of your life, it allows other areas to start to go downhill. And so I'm going to now make it part of my purpose to work on my job and make sure that I have better emotions around it, that I'm making healthier habits around it, that I'm having fun at my job. And that's why I started this program, is because I wanted to take what my spirit is telling me to do, and I wanted to take what my purpose is and to put it into a program that could fund our lifestyle and that could give back to helping others. And then it was all working together, but to make my work and job something that I really love doing. And that's why I'm doing this today. I'm going to make it my part-time efforts in sharing with the world my gifts and my passions, because when I'm adjusting people all day long, I know I'm doing something good. I love my job. I love my patients. I love everything about my job. I love being an entrepreneur. But I'm not inspired to adjust spines all day, because that adjusting spines all day is only covering this one piece of the puzzle. And I know deep down inside, based on all the counseling and the soul searching and the journaling and the constant years of non-stop thoughts in my head, I know that my purpose is to help people in all areas of their life, which I never get to touch that when I'm in my chiropractic office. I'm barely scratching the surface and helping people become healthier, but I'm not working on helping people be better with their emotions, or better with their finances, or better with their purpose. Like, people don't come to their chiropractor to get clear on what their purpose is. And that's why you're here today, is because you want to find more balance in all of these areas of your life. And I want that for you too. So you're going to do the exercise, you're going to give yourself an honest score, and think about it. Be really, really clear and really intentional about the scores that you give yourself now, because that only means that nobody else is going to know what they are. Nobody's going to judge you. It's just a true reflection of where you are today, so that the work that you do over the next 52 weeks will help to refine these areas of your life, help to reprogram them, and help them get on the right track. So you're on the right track already. Think about this all week long. You're going to have a page 2 of your worksheet as well, which has all of the 7 layers of health, or the 7 layers of balance, and what you're in each of those areas. No matter how low you scored yourself or how high, you're going to make a list of all the things that are good about that area of your life and what you're grateful for. And then in that area of life, you're also going to make all the things, all the areas in that piece of the puzzle, what needs improvement, because you know where it needs improvement. And when we start to uncover these things, that will be the first step in helping you reach your truest potential. So hang tight. We have a lot of work to do. Today is just the foundation. So do this work over the week. Journal, exercise, think, share it with other people, teach yourself, however you implement. And the more time you spend doing the work, the more success you're going to have for massive transformation later. So we will see you next week in just 7 days. Hang tight, do the work, and we'll have lesson number 2 coming at you next week. I hope you enjoyed today, and I hope it was of value for you. Always pursuing for you. I'm Dr. Jenna, and we'll see you next time.